Hello, everyone. Welcome to the newest episode of Behind the Lou. Today, as always, we're joined by myself, Brendan, and Sean. And today, I think it's mostly just we got the news that Jordan Walker made the team. So, decent amount of news
W.
there.
Yeah,
So, what did they do with Juan Yepez? They put him in Memphis?
yeah, they got option to AAA. That pretty much opened up the spot that once that happened, it was pretty clear that Jordan Walker was going to make it, especially
Is
since there's the two other spots are going to be Taylor Motter and Alec Burleson. So it just kind of opened up the spot for him to make the team. So
what was that move like so Jordan could make the team, like specifically, or did they just think that Yepez was just like not necessary on the
I
roster?
mean, with Yepez, it's kind of difficult because you have like he's a very talented hitter. He had that big moment in the postseason last year where he hit the home run and it looked like we were going to win that game and it was electric. But the thing about Juan that's difficult is he is a great hitter, but he's not that great defensively, and he's mainly an outfielder slash first baseman, and he doesn't play first baseman well as compared to like Alec Burleson, because Alec Burleson just does the same thing as Yepez, but is better in the infield and is a left-handed option when we don't have many left-handers besides Gorman and Donovan with and Nootbaar. It's kind of nice to have that other lefty outfielder option. And with Yepez too, we have so many talented right-handed hitters to where there's just really no spot for him. And that's why I kind of feel like he's more trade bait at this point, which kind of sucks. But he didn't really perform that well in spring compared to what Walker did early on. But we'll get to Walker in a second.
Well, I was gonna
But
say even Yepez can't be a DH too, really, because you think about it too with like let's say we're doing like a big lineup against like a major team or something like that, or like to start a series battle or something like that. You have Gorman who's going to be second base, right? And if he's not second base, he then becomes
the
DH.
DH, yeah,
Yeah,
and that's kind of like what it's going to be laid out as, and especially with the way Ollie operates, um, he's going to give like guys like Nolan and Goldschmidt days off a lot, and like on the field and put them in the DH role. So there's going to be plenty at bats for Burleson and Walker and guys like that and Gorman, to where I don't think Pez just didn't really have a spot, unfortunately. It sucks, and I hope he'll be back up in the big leagues for sure. I don't think that's a question. It's just there's just for our team right now, I think they'd rather have Walker up and develop as a big leaguer to play every day than Yepez, who will most likely just be a bench bat and potential DH option. So that's just kind of like where it kind of stands with him.
yeah. It really sucks because there was the whole storyline too with Yepez and Pujols last year too, right?
Yeah, and Yepez, this is kind of a fucked up thing. Yepez took Walker under his wing and showed
No,
him.
guys.
Hey kid, let me show you these ropes here.
Yeah,
Oh
he
Guess
shit,
you
you
can
showed
can
come
him.
kind
take my
He,
job.
yeah, he was like helping him out, and then Walker took his spot.
of that sucks.
That does suck. I mean, like I said, Yepez is a great dude. Very talented. He will definitely get his time in the big leagues. He'll be a very good Major League Baseball player. But just right now, it just kind of sucks with the situation. This is what we talked about early on: is if Jordan Walker forces his hand, someone is not going to be happy with the result of what
Yeah.
happens. And a lot of us assumed it was going to be Carlson, O'Neill, but it ended up being Yepez is the one, which it's going to be interesting to see how, since they are going to be saying, like they said that Carlson's going to be more of a utility outfielder to where he could play every position, come in as a defensive replacement, and with his ability to switch hit, he can come in and pinch it in certain situations and have DH opportunities. But I don't know if that's really best for Carlson either, because Carlson is, again, he was a highly touted prospect too. So I don't know, but other than that, congratulations to Jordan Walker though. I know this is massive for Cardinals. Don't ever call anybody up from Double A, and he's not going to make any appearance in Triple A before he makes his MLB appearance.
That's actually
So
wild.
yeah, the only other people I can think of that did that is Juan Soto. There's other people too, but Juan Soto skipped Double A. So no, he skipped Triple A. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, just the it's just so cool because I know he's been struggling lately. That is what I kind of want to get into. A lot of people are saying that he might not be ready, and I was one of them. Kind of questioning if he was ready when, because the later part of the spring he was struggling a little bit. Um, he just was not really his average was going down. He was striking out a lot more. It just seemed like the pitchers were attacking him a little differently, and it just it's just interesting because it happened after he had that shoulder scare. I don't know if you guys remember when
Mm,
he
Yeah.
slid into first base
yeah.
and his shoulder got messed up.
I
I mean,
think
he
he almost
started off
cried when that happened.
what?
I'm fairly sure you started tearing up when that
I
happened.
was terrified because it was like it's just our luck. But it worries me with that because he's just like ever since that injury, he has not been the same. But I don't think you can ignore what he did the first part of spring. On March 10th, like that time, his stat wise, he was batting 452 average, 839 slug, a 1.291 OPS, total bases 26, 14 hits, and 6 extra base hits. All of those were first in the entire spring training of all of MLB at that time. So it just you have to remember what he did before, and I think the one thing that kind of changed Ollie's perspective on it was when there was an article that John Denton wrote about him being called up, and Ollie asked him before he told him the news of why before he told him the news that he was being called up. He asked Jordan, "What is your most uh, what's your favorite personal trait about you as a baseball player?" And he said that he has a very short memory, that he doesn't think about how good he's doing. He doesn't think about how bad he's doing. He just goes out there and plays the best that he can. And that, for a 20-year-old to say that, that's like really impressive. Because, I mean, we've all played base. Like, I know, Adam, you played baseball too. Like that, the mental grind of baseball is ridiculous that no one
Yeah, I
really talks
mean,
about.
if you get yourself into a slump, I mean, I only played up until high school, but slumps are possibly the worst things known to man ever because you don't know if it's just you don't know what's going on, if it's just luck. I mean,
Yeah.
and plus we only played fucking like 40 something games. I mean, everybody in the MLB is playing what, 162 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking grit to get through a season, especially to try and stay healthy and keep like your momentum going. It's I think baseball is one of the most grind of a sports ever, just because of how long the season is.
You know, you
How
touch on
often you
something that's
play.
pretty interesting there too, and just sports in general with that is just the psychiatrical viewpoint of it. I'm kind of happy to see this now over the last like 5, maybe 10 years or even longer, where players are getting sports psychologists and whatnot to
Mm,
look into like what can get them back on track, and like so much money is finally being poured into the mental aspect of the games that we like to see, because it really does suck to see like for example, like to throw it to the Blues just for a quick second with that, like Jordan Cairo. I'm sure he has a sports psychologist or psychiatrical person to help him out whenever you get into these slumps that we've seen all season, or like the lows of it all, to get pulled out and whatnot. And Nathan McKinnon with the Colorado Avalanche really talked in depth about how that changed his whole career. Colorado back in like the early 2010s, they were absolutely dog shit. And I think a
yeah.
lot of people have forgotten about that now with the recency bias with it. But they couldn't win when they had the center depth of Nathan McKinnon, Paul Stasny, Matt Duchene, and Ryan O'Reilly. Like those are four really all-star players in the NHL up to now, or even up to now, and they couldn't pull it together. It wasn't until Nathan McKinnon, started really preaching to everybody about like, hey, we should really, invest into getting our minds looked at, just so that way we don't suck as much, pretty much.
But yeah, and
And
like
I,
what like with baseball, it's just like there's so, like you said earlier, there's just so much. You have so many opportunities to fail, and
Right.
like it's crazy to think about that. Like I know averages and everything, but if you look like a batting average, 250 is considered like okay. Like
And you know what's crazy about
that's
like
that's like
what did
25% of the time you're not doing anything.
who am I quoting? It was Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders said this in an interview because I think they were talking about all the past sports he played, and he said the most mentally tasking one is baseball because it's so weird. Because I mean, like compared to like other sports, right? So let's compare it to like the statisticals of like basketball, for example. If you're making 9 out of 10 free throw shots every game, that's expected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially for like high talented players, that's expected. If you're hitting the ball 9 out of 10 times at the plate for a baseball, you're God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like
you can hit the ball 3 out of 10 times every game and still have a good average, and not being above 500 is still okay, which is insane. Like because 500 for any other sport,
500
you
is
probably won't have a job.
ridiculous. I mean, that's
Yeah,
like not
right.
even like
like
I mean,
50% free throw rate, terrible. 50% completion rate for football, terrible.
yeah.
What other, like I guess I don't know anything
500,
hockey,
500
but
goals, a 500 save percentage, absolutely dog shit. That's
But
all
then
I'm
you
gonna say about
also
that.
and then if you 200 like 250 average, I mean, you could be on a big league team. Depending on all the other tools.
literally,
But like that's
if you're
how
bad, if you go
good.
up to the plate and you're hitting the ball, like just for an average, like 6 out of 10 times. I think Deion Sanders said 7 out of 10 times. You're gonna be on a team. It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just like so, and then not even just to mention that part, I mean, just the defensive grind too, and
Yeah,
just how long, like you're in the summer, you're there every day, all day.
yeah,
I think
for
it's
hours on end.
simply the conversation comes down to sports is fucking hard. Like
Yeah.
it's like there's a reason why these athletes get paid so much money because like a podcast that I listen to is called Agent Provocateur where they actually talk to a actual sporting agent and they go through the rundown. Like I heard the rundown of what happens when a player is traded and the coordination with that. So for an example, like Vladimir Tarasenko gets traded, right? His agent now has to figure out, all right, here's where you're going to be staying in New York. Here's the itinerary of how we're going to get your family there. Here's what we're going to do to try and show you the housing market for rentals that you can do here. And you have to make it to Madison Square Garden tomorrow by 7 p.m. All right, good luck.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it is absolutely
it's wild.
insane. And then, like, you also think about, like, they make, well, for, again, continuing with Tarasenko, he makes 7.5 million. Not all of that money goes to his pocket because then he has to deal with the escrow of the NHL, like paying it back towards because that's just what the agreement that they have going forward. You know, paying like the people that like his babysitter to take care of his 3 kids, paying the chef that he's probably paying like
Yeah, people don't
90,000 to
realize that
take
these
care of
people
him.
have
It's so
personal,
yeah.
they have personal lives. I know last year, I think it was the lineman for the Panthers. His wife, but like the Saturday before the game, went into labor and had the baby. But after the baby was born, he flew straight out to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers, and they ended up winning.
Yeah, like Torrey Krug right now with the Blues. He played the game that his newborn was like, of course, just born and whatnot,
Mhm.
and then stayed behind with his wife for like to miss the Detroit game, and then flew on a plane to go to LA to play last night.
Somebody on the Rams, their Super Bowl year, went to his daughter was born in that game, and he had to, as soon as the game ended, he left.
Yeah,
Who
like,
was that? Wasn't that in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think that was like Robert Woods or Van Jefferson or somebody. It was
I
a wide
remember that
receiver.
because
I can't
he was
remember who
he
it
was interviewed. He's like, I can't believe I won the Super Bowl. Well, I gotta leave. My
My
girl's having a
might just
baby.
had my baby. Gotta go.
I remember that interview. It was
I
really
couldn't
funny.
imagine if going to win a Super Bowl and your daughter or your son's born the next day. That's got to be one of the best feelings in the world. It has to
Yeah.
be.
dude, I'd be fucking
Can't even
stressed out.
Oh
Like
my
I'm too much of
God.
I'm too much of like a mental nutcase at times to handle my own like simple life. Like
Yeah.
these athletes who are just like beyond. Like there's a reason why they make this money. I'm really happy that we had this
and
conversation.
a lot
with
of them
this.
are humble about it too. It's I really like. It's like this is just a game. We're getting paid to play a game.
Yeah.
and they're not like, oh, I should be get paid more because I'm entertaining a bunch of people. They're like, I think it was Patrick Beverly that said it. He's like, this is a game. We're having fun.
I just thought of another situation. Like, could you imagine walking down the street, like you yourself, you're walking down the street of wherever, and some random person comes up to you and says, "Hey, man, your work fucking sucks.
Yeah,
I've seen
honestly
your
for
stats,
athletes,
your
that's so that happens all the time. I hate that shit though. Like, how can unless they did like something fucked up, I like why would you get in their business? They have personal lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry
I
to
met
hijack
Lamar
that.
Odom
Yeah.
one time.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
So that's the only celebrity I've ever met was Lamar Odom.
Sorry to hijack the
This
topics,
is
Brendan. I just kind of like
I
No,
running
know.
you're
rails with
good.
that.
But back to Jordan Walker though. Um, so do you guys think that
no.
like okay. So with
Don't
like
think.
with him making the opening day roster, even with him struggling, do you think that was a good decision? Or do you think with him struggling they should have sent
Yeah.
him down to AAA?
No, I mean you could always do the old switcheroo with him and Yepez, I think. So I mean it's better because I think his ceiling is really, really high. So that you give him time in the leagues to start developing now rather than just, go hit bombs all day in AAA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go see these
Sean.
pitchers you're gonna actually want to go up against to get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was gonna say the only thing that like I think people don't really think about is over um over developing is a thing.
Hmm.
It is possible to stagnate someone's development by keeping them around and whatnot, and it is terrible.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're
Dog's
good.
making an appearance right now.
I agree though, because I mean you look at Jordan Walker, his talent level is so high. His seal, like you said, it's so high. There's if he goes to AAA, there's just not. I mean, yeah, it could help a little bit. It could help. He could probably help his defense
Get playing time, I
capabilities
guess,
and get
but
playing time every day. That doesn't. It's not going to affect the team. But what I always go back to is Jordan Walker does not need to come up here and be the best player on this team. He does not need to be.
no,
He can
No, he
be
doesn't have
batting
that pressure,
seventh or
yeah.
eighth. So
because the best player on that team, like hands down, personally, goes to I think Arenado
oh
or
yeah, that's his.
Goldschmidt, one of the two.
Arenado. It's Arenado's team
Yeah,
at this
literally.
point. But it's like you have Walker batting like seventh, eighth, probably, like to start it out, get him comfortable, and then like I mean, if he goes and plays against AAA pitching, it's not like I mean, he's been facing that through spring. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
so
Right.
like if you look at it, how would you feel if he was doing this 1 month into AAA? Like, people are gonna be wanting him to be called up. So why even put him there? Like, why don't you
Right.
just bring him up, let him get comfortable with being in the big leagues and facing that big league pitching, and then he could develop from there. This dude has never failed an opportunity to give into him. He's never failed. Every single time he comes up, he gets drafted, goes to Palm Beach, rakes. Then they put him in AA last year. Unbelievable season from him last year. And then he comes to spring, and people are like, "Oh, will he make the team?" The beginning of the spring, he shut everybody up. It just was literally one of the best players in the MLB. Like through the
I
beginning of spring training.
I think he is going to make an impact on this team, but he doesn't need to be like, oh, this guy's gonna hit 30 home runs his first year, but he's gonna be
No,
batting
he
fucking
doesn't need to be
450.
that way.
No,
Now,
he just needs to like get a year of the MLB under his belt. You know what I mean?
this is one other thing I wanted to talk about with Jordan. I was thinking about it. You know, we look at like the best young players in the game that have come up. Juan Soto, Julio Rodriguez, Bryce Harper back then, Fernando Tatis, like guys like that, when they come up, they make instant impact to this team. Does that, even though they might not be the best player on the team necessarily, but some of them are, like Julio and like Juan Soto for the Nationals. But you wonder, bringing a guy like Walker up into this team with a whole bunch of veterans, having that young, exciting talent be called up on this team can make a massive difference because we didn't have that last year. Like, yeah, we had like a lot of young players collectively come in with the veterans, and we saw the spark that it gave. Like, we brought Nolan Gorman up, we brought Donovan up. I mean, these guys were massive impact players for us. Zach Thompson's another one for the lefty bullpen option. Palante kept us steady throughout all of last year, pitching wise. So, I mean, with a guy like Walker, who is an elite superstar talent potential player, you wonder what kind of impact this will have on this team. Like,
Yeah,
it could take this team to the next level, like that some people might not even know is possible. So,
And the good thing about it is he doesn't have to at the same time as well. He just has to enjoy it. He just has to enjoy this year being up and, learn as much as he can. And he seems like the kind of person who's, takes in a lot of information to do that and, adapts as well as he can.
Yeah, you said that perfectly. There's no purpose in him being in AAA at all. He's just, it's better for him just to come up, learn the role that he is, learn the big leagues, get comfortable, and just ride it out. Because it's just, he's not going to do anything different in AAA. If you send him there, he's going to rake. It's just, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, and like Adam said, if it gets so bad to where it's not going to work, you have Juan Yepez there waiting, who is a major league ready baseball player.
Yeah.
So
every Cardinals fan who's going to freak out when it becomes like opening day and then in like a week or two passes and still nothing has gone on, like you're not seeing the runs that you wish you do, chill the fuck out. It'll be fine.
Let him, you know what's going to happen? Here's exactly what's going to happen. I think he hits a home run on opening day in his first at bat against Alex Manoah.
I could see it.
That would be a blessing and a curse, though.
That's what's going to happen. But here, that's going to happen.
It's locked in, okay.
And then he'll do great that first series against the Blue Jays. I have this feeling. And then you'll struggle against the Braves. And then he'll kind of have like a slower week, and then people will be asking to send him down. That's what Cardinal fans do.
Okay.
But the one thing is just be patient with Jordan Walker. We talked about it through spring. Don't expect him to be the best player. Just enjoy having this guy on your team. Enjoy having him because he's an elite superstar potential player. Just let him ride it out. If he's gonna have struggles like every other big leaguer has, just don't. He's not putting the pressure on himself, so I don't think fans should either.
And if you want to put that pressure on someone, that's why you have Nolan. That's why you have Paul. That's why you have Goldschmidt. That's why you have fucking all these other star players that we have, that's in the lineup. They're the ones that take that pressure, so take it to them. Yeah,
and Andrew Knizner, please. He shouldn't be on the team. I don't care what anybody
Who would be
says.
your backup?
Barrera was a guy that we brought in. He got hurt, but he was not good either. Herrera was the guy that I thought was going to have a future with this team. I don't even know anymore. He's still very young, but I don't know. I don't know who a backup would be. Bring back Austin Romine.
Juan Yepez, put on the catcher stuff. Let's go. We need you.
Slap on some gear, boy.
Yeah.
But another thing but moving off of Walker, I want to also congratulate Taylor Motter. This guy, he came into this spring as a non-roster invite. He's kind of been like a fringe big leaguer. I think he's only had like 30 at bats or something like that in the big leagues. And he came in this spring, not really high expectations. It's kind of like a fringe AAA guy, most likely. He comes in and does incredible for them. I wouldn't say incredible. Let me take that back. He was like, he just showed that he could probably fill a hole that guys like Paul DeYoung couldn't fill. Like this spring, he had 51 at bats, he had 12 hits, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, and he had an average of 235. So he's gonna be the bench bat for like a middle infield position. And Paul DeYoung will be on the injured list to start off the year. So Paul DeYoung, I don't know what his deal is. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I think
Ni hao.
Trey, going to Japan.
You never.
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Yeah.
But he's just I don't know what Paul Dion is, dude. And it's just I'm getting tired of him. And a lot of Cardinal fans are. I think the organization is too. And yeah, so having Taylor Mata replace him, I'm happy. Congratulations to him. Just due to the fact he's 33 years old and he managed to come in and just play his game. And after struggling for so long, and just was able to find an opportunity as a big leaguer. So that's kind of a cool story. But yeah,
he's 33.
33.
Damn.
He's not gonna be obviously not a big part of this team, but it's just kind of nice that it's just nice to hear that story since Paul Dion's out, he gets that opportunity. But the other Cardinal news is Adam Wainwright is out for at least
the season.
3 weeks.
No, not the season.
Because he retired.
He has a groin issue.
So yeah, I wanted to ask you about this. Do you think it's something more in that, or like that he's had this groin injury throughout all of spring training, and that's why he's been shit and he hasn't said
I don't
anything?
know. I don't know.
They brought that up on ESPN or on 101 the other day, and I was like, you know what? Out of everything I've said about this guy and his ego and whatnot, that he secretly has this ego, I could totally believe that he's like holding out as much as he can to get as much time on the show as he can.
I think he has an ego, like a big one, and it's just like, he always portrays as like I don't know him personally, so I don't want to take this as like a shot at him, but it's just like every time something bad happens, he always comes up with an excuse on why it's happening. It doesn't seem like he just takes accountability for just being awful. I don't know. I don't get it. Like when the WBC was happening, he didn't get the start against Venezuela, sorry. And they told, like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm really disappointed I didn't get that start. What do you mean? You're going against Jose Altuve and you think that
you're not getting above 90 and you're like, yeah, I deserve the start.
No, he's not even getting above 88. And it's like, I don't know. And he was struggling against Cuba. Like at the beginning, he settled out, but you're playing Cuba, one of the worst teams in WBC, and you play Great Britain, and then everyone's like, "Oh, he did well with the WBC."
It's like, yeah, well, no shit, he went against Britain.
Yeah, it's Then you got like this whole thing with like his mechanics being off, and he's not being able to land correctly, which is causing his velocity to be down. It's just like, just fucking come out and say, "I'm washed."
I'm old as
Just
fuck.
say it. Just say it. You're
old.
41. No one's going to hold it against you. I promise. No one. I'm not going to hold it against you because you're literally 41. You have a lot of respect from me. You have a lot of respect for me for what you've done in your career. But for the love of God, Adam, please just say you're washed because that's what you are.
I'm washed.
No. Wrong, Adam. No, but like,
you gotta be more specific.
It's just like and the sad thing is like he still has time to like announce a retirement and like refuse the or like I feel like there's still something you can do to where he can take, like, you could just say, hey, tear up that contract, I'm just gonna go out.
But
I'm done.
here's another thing I don't understand about this organization. They put Dakota Hudson back in AAA. Was it deserved? Yes, I completely agree. It was a good move. But the problem is they told Dakota Hudson, you can't be successful in the big leagues if you're throwing 89 to 90 miles an hour. You have to throw harder than that. But here's Adam Wainwright throwing 87.
Lollipops.
And then they were gonna make him the opening day starter.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding?
Who's the opening day starter for right now? I know I asked.
Miles Michaelis, baby.
Oh, that's another thing. Congratulations for him on his extension.
2 years.
Forget about that. That I'll go into that in just a second because that's kind of interesting. But going back to Wainwright,
do we need to shit on Wainwright more?
I mean, he shit on some people on Twitter.
We had a whole
funny
podcast about this.
I know. I just want to say one more thing. Adam Wainwright, you are washed. Please retire. I just, you have a lot of respect for me. I don't want you to come in here and ruin your legacy. That's all I have to say. Because I think you have a Hall of Fame case right now. if you come in here and struggle, I don't know if that sustains. That's my opinion on it.
Now moving on to the future, Miles Michaelis.
Miles Michaelis agreed to a 2-year, $40 million deal, which this is interesting
So much
because,
money.
well, it's a lot of money, but it's not really that bad considering what other pitchers are making right now.
Yeah,
and
I
it
don't
opens up a lot of opportunities here because he got like a signing bonus to where he's getting more money this year. And he's going to be
Sick.
making like 18 million in the next 2 years. But that kind of all offsets because Wilson Contreras' contract is also deferred. So you're not really raising payroll, like annual payroll, you're like at all for the next few years, which means Shohei, you are a Cardinal.
Shut the fuck up.
You have room. You have
You're an
roster space.
idiot.
You have the money. He is a Cardinal.
I thought we were talking about Miles Michaelis. Now you want to talk about Ohtani?
I did talk
What
about
is
Michaelis.
happening?
It's its extension.
What is happening?
Where does Sean go?
I don't know. Tell his dog to get on the headset. We need an opinion. There's a second one. I don't know.
Sean.
Ohtani's gonna die.
Why are you getting up and leaving mid
Because
episode?
you guys know that I have these dogs. They usually sit behind me, but now that we're doing it at different times, and just they're just absolutely wild because I have to let them out and then bring them back in and everything.
Just leave him alone.
If I do that, then they start screaming because they're huskies. Brennan, I mean, I'm saving everybody else's ears here.
But I don't know if you heard what I said, but since the money's all deferred, that means, and it kind of equals out to where we're not raising payroll. That means Shohei Ohtani is a Cardinal.
Okay, cool. Locked in.
So that kind of
Just
completes everything Cardinal wise, though, for me.
I just saw his Otani's GQ interview from like a year ago. I think of like everything he brings, and I didn't look too much into it, but like one funny thing that it cuts to is just a bat.
Oh, it's like the 10 things he can't live without. Yeah.
It's just like real quick. I just saw him like cut to like a bat. I'm like, I just love the idea of him just walking around with just a
With his
bat,
bat all the
constantly,
time.
like at all times. Oh, for that, I got nothing to report Blues wise.
Nothing Blues at all.
We're winning. That's it. We're probably. I still think no matter what. We're gonna
Talking
be
about the
within 20 points.
Blues.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Time
We got
for
Adam.
Adam's gambling session. Okay.
All right, I'm ready for it.
I
I'm
did
ready
wanna
watch us
say-
lose some money.
I did want to say once the season gets underway, I don't know if I'm going to do a day one parlay or not. I'd like to, but I don't know if I have the time to like do the digging for it.
That's gonna be it's a lot of
Like I
research.
want to do one where it's all pitchers and all scored innings and shit like that.
Brennan,
But anyways, I'm going to try every week to at least put out 1 to 2 good, really good, like researched parlays.
okay.
And I'm gonna post it on our Twitter for anybody who's able to follow.
What do we got? What do we got, Adam? What bets are we thinking?
I don't know. Today, I haven't even looked at today's NHL slate.
You
It's
got-
not that good.
Yeah, there's only 5 games.
Bruins and Hurricanes will be a solid one. I think Blues and Kings will be a solid game.
Yeah, it's just at 9:30, which sucks.
They're the favorites right now. Or no,
Yeah,
the
they're-
Kings are the favorites. My bad.
Yeah, because the Kings are trying to close out to where, because they're catching up to Vegas. If they win tonight, they'll only be 2 points behind, and everyone's tied up in games played. But another good thing about this too is in a week or two we'll be able to finally do our NHL predictions, and we could do a good bet on that as well. Adam.
Yeah, I'm down. So
If I were to say any bets to go with, like Toronto against Nashville, I would definitely choose Toronto because they're pissed off that they lost their last game, and I think they have a chance to
I
clinch
was gonna
their
take
playoff spot soon.
that's if I took a money line, that's who I was gonna take.
Yeah,
Toronto. But so yeah, MLB season starts. Once I get a good look at what I can use in a parlay, I'm gonna research it, and I'm gonna try with Brendan and Sean's help, with Brendan's big head. We're gonna try and make some money this
He's got
MLB
all that,
season.
all the baseball knowledge, all the stats are
He
just right
does,
in there.
and I once it comes out because obviously spring training, you can't do like same game parlays and shit. So I also standing by that statement of March and April are one of the best times for sports ever. March Madness is insane right now. It is wild.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen this good of a March Madness in a long time.
I haven't really been following it that much, to be honest.
This is the first time ever since they've been keeping like playoff spots, like doing March Madness, that not a single number one seed is in the Elite Eight or the Final Four.
Yeah.
Wild.
But since we don't have anything else, that kind of completes everything. It's again a short. We're trying to go for more shorter episodes, especially since when the season starts for Cardinals, it's not going to be as much talk about like storyline wise. But yeah. So we're just gonna complete it there. But we'll have another episode next week talking about opening day and how the series gone with against the Blue Jays. So expect that next weekend. Make
I'm
sure you
gonna
guys
try and have a
follow.
parlay ready for opening day for that podcast. If it's
We'll
before
post it
opening
on
day.
we'll post it on our Twitter beforehand, and we'll
Yeah.
talk about the results of it after on Saturday, Sunday, whichever we do the podcast.
Yeah.
So
At this rate, it's Sunday.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't know.
we will. Our schedule's been really wild out because I have a lot of shit going on. So
Same.
I have to go take my
Bum,
dog to the vet
ba-bum,
today, right after this. So
bum,
that'll be fun.
ba-bum.
But all right, guys. Well, make sure you guys follow everything on our socials. We have TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, everything like that. Make sure you subscribe with notifications bells on. We post our podcast on Spotify and Apple Music too, if you're on YouTube. And we also, if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, we have our podcast on YouTube. So
Yeah, with the YouTube video, you can see me go in and out to take care of these absolute monstrosity of animals.
all right, guys. So we'll go ahead and see you guys next week. And good luck to Jordan Walker on opening day on Thursday.
Oh,
And hopefully Miles Michaelis has a solid start. So we'll go ahead and see you guys then. And I hope everyone has a great opening day.